We just got done reviewing Mission Majinu, which is on Netflix. Highly recommend you guys all go and watch. But we're going to stay on Netflix with this next one because we're talking about another TV show. You might be wondering why we're reviewing this one, but it's actually because there's actually some setting in India. We're talking about Kung Fu Panda, the TV show on Netflix. And let me just say, Kung Fu Panda was a movie that I grew up on. For those of you that aren't familiar, Kung Fu Panda is a movie series, which has just recently spun off into a TV series on Netflix. And as I said, Kung Fu Panda it's a great movie with this great message for kids, basically about a panda named Po, voiced by Jack Black, who is kind of lazy, likes to eat a lot of food. He runs a noodle shop with his dad, and he always aspires to be a kung fu master, but he never really thinks he can be. And then in this village, there's a group of five, kung fu warriors. They're called the Furious Five. They're led by a master. And the whole premise of the first movie is that this former student of theirs, like, kind of turned bad, tried to take over the area, got sent to prison, and now he's staying there. But anyways, Po kind of rises up. He ends up joining this tournament where these kung fu masters are fighting, and all of a sudden he is looked at as the chosen one. Now he thinks this is an accident. Everyone around him thinks this is an accident. But slowly throughout the thing, Po starts believing in himself more, and actually he really becomes an absolute master in kung fu, saves the day in the original movie, and 3 movies came on after that. However, the Kung Fu Panda TV show on Netflix, The Dragon Knight, now has 2 seasons. The first season, took place where the crew was traveling to India to capture the evil weasel siblings, Veruca and Klaus. And they were attempting to find these 4 magical weapons. Like, these 4 magical weapons, essentially, when put together, very similar to, like, if you've seen Avengers and, the Infinity Stones and the Gauntlet and everything. These 4 weapons, when brought together, they're these magical weapons that could, lead to absolute destruction and catastrophe. So they're wanting to find these weapons and make sure that no one evil picks them up along the way, especially these 2 siblings. So we are looking at the second installment. And just like I said, this second installment takes off just where it left off. We see a lot of different cool things, such as new characters showing up, delicious delicacies. Like I said, Po likes to eat. So you do see a lot of good food. They do show off a lot of AC food, which I loved to see in this movie or in this TV show, as well as just like breathtaking, kind of cinematography, specialties and whatnot. One thing that I thought really stood out about the new season versus the last is it's very fast paced. The action sequences are pretty tight, so there's not these over drawn out like action sequences just to fill time. They actually very much keep the audience engaged because the story is paced in a way to where you can watch some great action scenes, but you're also, exposed to some great plot line, some great voices. Jack Black is always a really funny voice actor, along with Rita Ora and James Hong. And, overall, like I said, I found myself just enjoying the watch as it was going along. I will say there were some like animation production quality that I did think kind of like dropped this down a notch. Now, I don't know if that's quite necessarily a Netflix problem, or originally the series was from DreamWorks. So maybe there's a difference in like the teams that are working on this, because I definitely did notice something different between the TV show and the movies that didn't quite have the same aesthetic visually as the movies did. However, like I said, plot was great and everything. Other things to, kind of just say is like there's this friendship between Po and this character in the show called Blade. It's definitely one of the highlights of this series because Po is this very, just like Jack Black is in real life, very happy-go-lucky, very goofy and everything. So it's really cool to see like Po make a really good friend and just kind of have his personality rub off on everyone, including the people in the little group. We see him develop a deeper relationship with his dad. So as I mentioned in the movie, he actually ran a noodle shop with his dad. Now that he's a kung fu master, him and his dad kind of have a little bit of a different relationship. So this series kind of explores the arc of what that relationship might be. And then lastly, I won't spoil everything for you, but in the final episode of the series, it's a little bit of a mix up because it looks like Netflix wants there to be a 3rd season, because it wraps up the main storyline, what we had seen in season 1, and what season 2 ultimately was wrap the season 1 storyline up. But there is this like disjoint kind of story going on towards the end of this series that makes it seem like there will probably be a season three. I couldn't really tell from the end though. That was one thing I just found a little confusing. So maybe we will see a season three, and which I will be really happy to cover. But overall, if I were to give you these thoughts, very good TV show for the kids. Also for me, even though I'm not quite a kid, it's there. It's definitely worthy of a continuation. You know, if they did make a third season, I don't think fans would be disappointed. I wouldn't be disappointed because it was just very easy for me to stay engaged with this show, for me to really relate to the characters and just overall see some development with some characters that have been influential in my childhood and everything. So I really hope that they do make a third season with this. And we